When we had last left the Nameless One, they went inside of a bar and talked to a guy for 1,000,000 years about the various planes of existence, and in some ways non-existence, because there were like negative planes. There was a negative something or other that sounded terrifying. But nonetheless, it was time to talk to more people around that bar where there was a burning guy in the middle. It didn't seem great. This is Planescape Torment. Welcome back. Let's do exactly that. Let me do a quick save as well, just for good measure. Ebb Creek Knees. These sturdy pylons support the ramshackle roof. Hello? Whew, okay. You see a slightly stooped old man with a full gray beard and a lion's mane of gray hair. He wears a couple of shoulder guards as armor, and he keeps a helmet nearby. He smokes a pipe and carries a pouch of tobacco around his waist. He looks pretty strong, but he's a little plump and also appears to have some breathing trouble.
Well now, aren't you a sight, lad? Never have I seen so many scars blanketing a fella like a scar cloak you're wearing. Where you been? Hanging out in a grain thresher? Ha 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 ha!
He laughs.
Oh, I'm just jesting with you, lad. No offense meant, and I hope no offense taken. I am Ebb.
He extends his hand. Greetings, Ebb. Refuse to shake. I will shake your hand and say greetings. His handshake is firm.
Now I hereby tender my apologies for the unfair jesting, lad. Hope no hard feelings. Can I buy you a tankard or two of something to smooth any ruffled feathers?
No, why not? Why not? Do I drink? Am I a drinker? Do I like to drink?
That's the spirit, lad. Bide a moment.
He rises to his feet and heads to the bar. After a moment, he returns to his seat with a pair of tankards.
Here you go, lad. Drink up!
He takes a massive swallow from his own tankard, puffs on his pipe and says,
Oh, what can old Ebb do for you on this fine sigil day?
I had some questions about this place.
Oh, well, I gathered that. Just look at you. I mean, you don't look like you're from around these parts, lad. You look a little too out of sorts to be a seasoned native.
Ebb chuckles, then takes another drink.
So what can I help you with, lad? You need to know the lay of the land.
Ebb winks. Who are you? What are you doing? What is this place? Yes, tell me how this city and its environs work. No, farewell. Who are you?
Ebb Creek Knees.
Talk about nominative determinism, huh? Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. God, I love that I can do that now with a visual gag to it as well. It's even more corny and stupid.
Ebb Creek Knees, third measure of the harmonium, now retired and being a tout with one's voice, since I don't step as lightly as I might these past 2 or 3 decades.
He chuckles.
Now, lad, who be you, and what trouble might you be in?
Third measure of the harmonium? What's a tout? What makes you think I'm in trouble? Forget it, farewell. We're so impolite, right? I don't know about anybody else, but I was always taught from a young age that it's considered rude to respond to someone's question with a question, right? If you have a question, you should answer theirs first and then immediately follow up with a question, right? Anyway, third measure of the harmonium? Question mark? Ed puffs up slightly in pride and gets a semi-stern look on his face.
Aye, third measure of the harmonium.
He relaxes a little.
Though I haven't served a tour of duty in many a decade. Pushing a quill wasn't quite up my alley, after all the fights and skirmishes I've been in, so I just bide my time, keeping tabs on things down here in the hive, and helping out a little where I can. And you look like someone who might need a hand. Are you in some kind of trouble, lad?
What kinds of fights and skirmishes have you been in? A few troubles. I woke up in the mortuary and seemed to have forgotten who I am. None of your business, really. I had some other questions. What if he... Wild possibility take. What if he knows my situation, right? If not this guy, I bet someone will immediately recognize me. We've gotten off easy with nobody really recognizing me except our old Davis friend. But I'm waiting for the shoe to drop where someone recognizes me, knows what I'm doing, and will try and use it against me, right? So far, everyone that we've found who knows my whole situation have been mostly helpful, as far as we know, right? But I'm expecting there to be at least one, if not multitudes, at least one person who is going to be deliberately duplicitous. What fights and skirmishes have you been in? Ebb rolls his eyes.
More than I can remember, lad. Well, almost more than I can remember. Leastwise, I did an all-too-long tour in the Blood War, that infernal muck-up, war of lies on terrors, far too many years in the Black Centuries War.
Ebb begins to tick off the wars on his fingers and counts silently to himself.
Then there was the Three Plains War and many others. I even took part in the Harmonium War of Liberation. Oh, towards the end there, I was also in the Sigil City Watch. Some could argue that was the most dangerous of them all.
He laughs loudly. The mention of the Blood War feels like a cold dagger slipping into your heart. Tell me more of the Blood War. Ebb sighs, oblivious to your reaction.
Aye, the Blood War. The most dangerous family feud this side of the primordial soup. A mean-spirited mob of fiends on one side, a batch of warmonger fiends on the other. It's the war that creation sparked, and they've been digging into each other ever since.
Two sets of fiends warring against each other, eh?
Aye, the Tanari, vicious killers, who care for none but themselves, and the Batitsu war machine, all for law and order under their infernal rules. The whole mess spills out into other planes from time to time, and it's made the multiverse a less pleasant place to live.
I see. I had some other questions.
Aye, lad, what do you want to know?
Do you know someone named Farid?
Farid?
Ebb frowns, takes the pipe from his mouth.
Now, lad, what do you be wanting with a Burke like Farid?
I think I used to know him. I think he stole some of my belongings. None of your business. What do you know of him? Nothing. I had some other questions. Nothing. Farewell. I don't want to say I used to know him because I feel like that would imply that I could have been on good terms with him. Which maybe I was, but I don't think I want this guy to know that. Especially when I don't. I think he stole some of my belongings.
Oh, no doubt, lad, no doubt.
Ebb grumbles, chewing on his pipe.
You have to chain up everything around that grasping little spider. He should have been one of the fated, the way anything not chained down slips into his parlor. Don't give him a yard or he'll take a league, eh?
What do you know about him?
Well, now I don't know everything there is to know about old Farid, but I know some of the dark surrounding him. If you're...
This is becoming my Dunmer voice for Morrowind.
If you're determined to track down that spider and nail him to a wall, then I suppose I could spill some of the chant, so you know what you're tangling with.
He pauses to tamp his pipe.
Farid dug his nest deep into the rag pickers' square not too long ago. Got a bunch of collectors and gangs together and started what one could almost consider a collecting faction. Be that as it may.
Where can I find him?
Well, lad, if you're looking for Farid, which I would say is pretty barmy of you, you're a little off the beaten path. You want to be finding Ragpicker's Square. Chant is that Farid set up his kip somewhere in the square. Even an old fella like me, who's been around the ring a few times, don't know exactly where. I figure that Farid wants to keep the dark on his location dark. If you're all bound and determined to find Farid, go to Ragpicker's Square and try to dig up Ferret's location from some of the locals. Try and be careful about it, since there's plenty in the square that would make a gut harp out of you as soon as look at you.
Okay, I had some other questions.
Aye, lad, what do you want to know?
I am missing a journal.
You're missing a journal. Was there more to the journal than just pages and words? Otherwise,
could there be? I didn't even think there could be. Could there have been more to the journal than that?
Otherwise, I can't imagine too many bloods who would bother themselves with letters unless it was really hot and spicy. Not much use for books of learning around here. I don't know where you might find such a thing.
Ebb puffs on his pipe. Then he snaps his fingers.
But you know, lad, if Ferret is the one who scraped you off of the Sigil Street, then he might know the dark of where your stuff is. It's most likely in his larder, if you ask me. A dead man is usually in no possession to keep his possessions when the collectors tumble across his body.
He seems to already know my situation, that I was dead. Okay. Other questions? What is this place?
You're in the Smoldering Corpse bar, lad. Not a pretty place as some, but it's got its own homespun kind of charm.
Tell me about the patrons here. Who's the Smoldering Corpse there? What's good to drink here? Let's start from the top. Tell me about the patrons.
Well, you got O, who claims to be a letter instead of a person. Some mercy killers waiting around for a criminal. Para Abishai on furlough from the Blood War. A Githzerai over there who's been watching you from afar. Not too unusual, mind you, they're Piri cutters. And Elias down there, a clueless kid whose britches seem to be just a bit too tight, if you get my meaning. If you're wanting information on the plains, talk to Kendrin Illborn over there. He knows more than most I know.
Who's a Smoldering Corpse there?
Him? Oh, no corpse, lad. No deader him. Near as well as we can tell. Old Ignis is still alive inside that little roast spit. Near as we can figure, anyway. Ebb wrinkles his nose. He can smell damnably awful sometimes, too. Keeps me on the pipe to make sure it won't worm its way into my nose, it does.
He chuckles. How did he get here? Ebb takes a smoke from his pipe for a moment, as if deciding how to phrase his comment.
Well, now, lad, Ignis had a smattering of problems, and some not slight wizardly magics to boot, and seldom do the two mix well, if you understand me. He liked to...
Ebb puffs on his pipes and smoke trails up.
Well, he liked to burn things, and he started torching places and people, and generally making a bunch of trouble.
And?
Well, now, most of what was going on in the Hive, and I'll be the first to admit that the Hive is not the first place the Harmonium goes to keep Sigil's law.
Ebb looks a little shamefaced.
A failing on our part, since it may be the place where our presence is most needed. So, by the lady's reckoning, there was a little street-side justice in the wizardly community. A bunch of tea leaf readers, hedge wizards, and midwife witches got together and managed to weave a spell that was kind of poetic justice.
Ebb gestures with his pipe at the figure.
So now he sits there and burns. He's still alive, which I don't think they counted on.
Huh. I had other questions? So he's actually like a fucking lunatic, too. Okay. Ignis is, mind you. Tell me of Sigil. Ebb laughs loudly.
You don't think small, do you? If you want to know what's outside the city, go talk to Kendrian Illborn over there. He's a traveler of this place. As for the rest of it, well, I can tell you of the lady, the Dabus, keys and portals, the way we keep track of time, the way the city's laid out. What was it you wanted to know?
Oh, okay. Yeah, tell me about the lady. You're like the only person who's willing to proffer such information to me.
Well, now, not many know much about her, lad, and I'm figuring even those that know more than a little don't know too much more. She's a mystery, she is, and even should you run across her, powers forbid, she's silent and deadly. She's not evil, far as I can tell, but she keeps the dark about herself, and siggles pretty tight. None's been able to penetrate it, and if they have, they've been mazed.
Go on. Mazed? What do you mean? Oh, I think we heard about the labyrinth or whatever, right? Had some other questions about Sigil. Okay, mazed. What do you mean?
Aye, sometimes bloods will be packed off to a place where they can't do no harm. The lady, see? She'll take a bit of sigil and make a little dimensional pocket out of it. A maze. She places those that have crossed her in there and lets them rot.
Eb puffs on his pipe.
Now, you can't escape getting mazed once a lady sets her gaze on you, lad. She'll get you eventually. No matter how hard you try and dodge her, you'll be walking down an alley, or about to step through a portal, or take a left turn down a street you've gone many-fold times before, and suddenly you're someplace you don't recognize. Now, mazes aren't escape-proof. There's always a way out of each one. A portal the lady places there. You just have to figure out where it is and how to use it.
I feel like this is foreshadowing. All right. I had some other questions about Sigil. Tell me...
What else did you want to know of the cage?
Tell me of the Dabus.
Aye, those funny floating bloods that speak in symbols.
Eb laughs.
Quite a piece of work, eh? The Dabus are kind of the lady's janitors and workmen, doing exactly what she wants. Make sure Sigil's running up to snuff, patching walls, tearing down old buildings, building new ones, setting up portals, sealing off others, and so on and on. They're a pretty neutral-faring bunch, but you don't want to interfere with one or kill one, or you'll bring the lady's wrath down on you right quick.
Okay. Other questions about Sigil? How about... Tell me of Sigil's time.
The way we measure time in Sigil's by the brightness of the sky. See, we haven't got a sun and moon like most worlds. We just got this everlasting haze that brightens and darkens at regular cycles. What most folks call midnight, we call anti-peak. What they call noon, we call peak. See, it's based on the peak and anti-peak of the brightness. So when someone says something about 5 hours past peak, that's what they mean.
Well, I haven't heard anyone say that. Okay, it sounds like almost needlessly confusing to use that kind of terminology, but fair enough. Okay, I had some other questions about Sigil. How about the city's layout?
Whew, let me wet my tongue.
He takes a pull from his tankard.
The city floats above an infinitely tall spire, the spire. It lies on its side like a discarded wagon wheel, but there's no spokes that connect it to the spire. It's divided into 6 wards, each of them with its own function. Right now you're in the Hive. I think the purpose of the Hive is to be squalor to the rest of the city's grandeur.
He laughs.
Factions, philosophical clubs, or gangs if you prefer, divide up the city, divide up the running of the city between them.
Were you in a faction? Eb raises his hand as if to stop you and laughs slightly.
Oh, now hold on, lad. I'm no has-been faction member. They say, and they're right, that once you're one of the Harmonium, you're a Harmonium for life. We're the Bloods that try and make sure Sigil stays out of trouble. No rocking the spire. No folks getting too over-enthusiastic about hurting each other, keeping the city down to a low roar. We try and keep the peace, lad, and most times we do a decent job.
Huh. Okay. I had some other questions about Sigil. Okay, how about keys and portals?
Siggle's called the City of Doors for a reason, lad. There's portals everywhere. Portals are, well, like doors that lead across the multiverse. Except they don't look like doors. Instead, they can be any bounded space. Window, door, pothole, picture frame, barrel hoop, spaces inside scaffolding, a wardrobe. Each could be a portal, waiting for just the right key to open it and take you someplace in the multiverse. Now, keys... each portal has a key you need to open it. Now, while portals can be any bounded space, keys have more variety. They can be anything, from a little tune you hum when next to the portal, to dancing a jig, to being in the right mood, to having a piece of the place you want to go in your hand, and on and on. In my youth, I once convinced a girl that kissing a man beside it could open a portal to Arcadia. Turned out I was right, and many trips to Arcadia did we have. Many portals probably have never been found. There's some you can uncover just by asking people and getting the right key. Finding out the dark of a portal is the toughest part. But I warn you, lad, portal hopping shouldn't be a pastime for a fella in your way, nor should you be wandering Sigil after dark neither. You do best to stick to the main ways, an open peak, and watch yourself.
Okay, other questions about Sigil? Did I get them all? I did. Okay, farewell. Eh,
All right.
not quite as talkative as Candrian. Okay, how about you? Elias. You see a trim, muscular man, dressed in clothing that is comparatively drab and mundane compared to most of the outfits you've seen in this city. He carries himself with an air of supercilious arrogance. He also looks dramatically out of place here. "Oh, what do you want?" he asks. "Who are you? Who are the patrons of this tavern? What can you tell me about this place? I'm looking for a journal. Have you seen one recently? Have you heard of a collector named Farid? Nothing, forget it. Who are you?" "I am Elias, warrior of renown. Surely you have heard of me?" "Lie, yes. Truth, no." No, I haven't." Can it truly be that none of this in this town have heard of me or my exploits? Alas, I shall have to prove myself all over again. And here I had thought my fame had spread across the world." "What world are you from?" "I'm certain it has. Answer some questions for me, will you?" "We all face disappointments. Farewell." "What world are you from?" "I come from the city of Aliburn, on the River Time. Surely you have heard of its glories and wonders? No matter. This place is benighted and ignorant when it comes to the splendors of true cities. I'm told that my land is what is called a prime by the denizens of this city, though a prime of what? I don't know." "How did you get here?" "Right, you're a long way from home. Good luck and farewell. How did you get here?" "I was chasing my old foe, the villainous life shade Tir Tanalel." He pauses, waiting for acknowledgement, then continues. "He conjured his demonic magic and opened himself a doorway, and hurled himself through it. Before he could flee me entirely, I threw myself after him, and found myself here." I get it. You're one of the clueless. The clueless. That sounds like quite an adventure. I had other questions for you. Good luck getting around. You'll need it. Farewell. I get it. You're one of the clueless. He bristles, reddening, and his hand clutches convulsively around the hilt of his sword. "Clueless, is it? I take offense to your words, Sirrah, and bid you farewell in the hopes that we should never cross paths again." He turns away from you, still flushed with pride and rage. "I just wanted to ask you some questions." He sighs heavily and eyes you with disdain. Then be on with it, scarred one. Ask and be done. Okay, who are the patrons of this tavern? The only person I know here is Ebb there. I'm new to this place, and I do not make it my business to meddle in the affairs of others. Did you have any further questions for me, or may I continue to enjoy my solitude? Well, actually, I had a few more questions for you first. You can go back to whatever you were doing. I had a few more questions. Okay, what can you tell me about this place? This is a tavern, one of the familiar sights of home. At least it would be, if not, were it not for the fiendlings in the corner and the endless strangeness that parades before my eyes. I find that at least there is some humanity in this place, for which I am grateful. Oh, that's right, you're clueless, aren't you? You're a prime, aren't you? I'd imagine. More questions, if I may? I'd imagine. Farewell. You're a prime, aren't you? If you mean I'm from the true world by that, then yes, I am a prime. I'm a warrior of some small renown there. And while I may not know all the loopholes of this new land, neither would I call myself clueless as some of the local varlets I don't know this word. Varlets around here have done. No, alright, let's just call off the insult, shall we? Really? I would. Very well, farewell. I didn't realize it was an insult. I guess clueless is sounds harsh. Alright. But let's just call off the insult, shall we? Call it even? Not until you apologize, villain. He looks like he's just spoiling for a fight. Or shall I provoke you more? Very well then, I apologize. Apologize to you? Never. Okay, very well then, I apologize. Then I suppose, as a point of honor, I must accept your apology. Very well. In return, I offer my apology as well. Let us set the matter aside and speak of it no more. And speak no more of it. Okay, very, very well. Could you answer some more questions for me? What knowledge do you seek? Okay, I'm looking for a journal. Have you seen one recently? I'm afraid that I've not been searching for such items. I am doing my best to reorient myself to this unfamiliar setting, and while I focus on small details in my attempt to do so, I must confess I've not been looking for journals of any sort. All right then, answer some other questions for me? Have you heard of a collector named Farid? Farid? Collector? These are names and terms unfamiliar to me. But if I should hear them mentioned in any other context, I shall certainly remember your face. Indeed, I could not forget it. Okay. More questions? I think I got all of them. Yeah. Alright, forget it. Very well. Mercy Killer Patron. How about Barkis? This bar has seen a lot of use. The scoring of weapons and talons does not mask the grimy buildup of years' worth of drinks that encrust the surface of the bar. Alright, Barkis. You see a leather-skinned man with just a hint of ashen color to his face. His teeth seem sharper than normal, and his eyes are filled with the boredom that comes with having seen too much. His voice is nasal and clipped. You again, eh? What do you want this time? You again? What do you mean? Who are you? What is this place? What can you tell me of the patrons here? I want something to drink. I'm looking for a journal. I'm looking for Farid the Collector. Nothing, farewell. You again? What do you mean? Yeah, you again. You got a hearing problem or something now? You was in here about 15 years ago. Got all bubbed up, smashed up the place, and left a pile of coin that wasn't enough to pay for the damages. So you plucked out your own bleeding eyeball and tells me you'll be back to reclaim it when you got 200 coins together. With 15 years of interest, you got about 500 coins. You got the jink, pal, I got your eye. 500? That's ridiculous. Wait, you've got my eye. So whose eye do I have right now? Did I grow mine back? I don't have that much. Not interested right now. Answer some other questions for me. Forget it. Farewell. I don't have that much.
Then you're not getting your eye back. Makes sense? Come back and talk to me when you got the jink.
Okay, very well. Can you answer some other questions for me then?
Hurry it up, will ya? I got paying customers.
You said you had my eye. I'd like to buy it back. Who are you? What is this place? What can you tell me of the patrons here? I want something to drink. I'm looking for a journal. I'm looking for Farad the Collector. Forget it. Farewell. Who are you?
Me? I'm Barkis, owner and keeper of this place.
What is this place?
Didn't you see the sign out front? Didn't you see the Burke burning over the furnace when you came in? It's a Smoldering Corpse cutter. Best damn bub house in Sigil. At least, it's the best damn bub house in this part of the hive, which makes it one of the best in Sigil. Hell, they got fancy places with plants and such in the ladies' ward. And they got fiendish taverns salted around the rest of the hive. But none of them got the character of the Smoldering Corpse.
Who is the corpse anyway?
Him? Ignis. He used to be a flame wizard. Burned down pieces of the hive and got himself scragged by a bunch of other mages. You want to know more about him? Go talk to Jerusalem down there by the door.
All right. I'd like to know more about something else, though. Okay. Did I ask him who he is? Who are you? Okay. Other questions? Yeah, he was just like, I'm Barkis. What can you tell me of the patrons here?
I don't make it a point to interfere with the lives of the people who give me their hard-earned jink, unless they ask me to. So, over there is Kandrian Planewalker. He's a good one to talk to about any plane-walking questions you might have. He's been pretty much everywhere. Down there is Ebb Creek Knees, an old harmonium basher. Don't hold that against him, and a tout. He's got a good heart in him, and
So they're like cops, for real. Alright.
He's got a good heart in him, and he knows sigil up and down. Them fiends over there are Ethel Grin and Tager In. What advice? Don't deal with them. They might be low rankers in the fiend hierarchy, but they're still fiends. Then you got Ilquicks over there, not trustworthy, and some mercy killers looking for some poor sod. Dakin, the Gizzerai is a mystery to me. Don't know much about him. You don't talk much. Finally, you interested in earning some free bub?
Yes. Sure.
There's a bubba over against the far wall, hanging out about in the shadows, who's been trying to work up her courage to slip out without covering her tab. I want you to make sure she don't do that. You do it, you get free bub here for life.
I like that it's called bub. I assume like as in bubbly and bubbles. I'll do it. Answer me some questions first. I'd rather not. Answer some questions for me instead. Maybe I can pay for that person's tab or whatever. Okay, I'll do it. Answer some questions for me first. Okay, how about... I'm looking for a journal?
A journal? Paper and words? Friend, that sort of thing don't get much stock down here in the hive. Folks here can barely read this sign above the door, much less an entire journal. If you're looking for a journal, you do better to have a system, instead of asking folks willy-nilly.
Alright, thanks for the unasked for advice. Answer a question then. I'm looking for Farad the Collector. He turns and spits on the floor.
Farad? You may as well just turn your back and let him sink a dagger in it. Though from the looks of you, you already have. If you're dead set on finding Farad, pardon the pun, Dr. Ebb Creek Knees over there. He should know something of value.
Ebb, the old man? My thanks. I'll do that then, right after you answer some questions for me. I want something to drink.
What do you want? We got your basic beer for a copper, bitters for 2, mead for 4. We got water straight from the elemental plane for 8 copper. We got Arborean fire wine and fire seeds for 10. Cursed heart wine for 8. And Beethoven's own whiskey for 20. What do you have? Oh my god.
How information? Oh, okay. I feel like I shouldn't be buying all this stuff right now because I'm short on moolah. Okay, forget it, farewell. I'd love to do the same as I had before and buy something of everything, but no can do, I think. Let's speak with Ilquix. You see a short, rotund man with a perplexed expression on his face. From the lines on his loose skin, it looks like it's not too uncommon. He carries a flagon of ale that looks like it's in the process of being emptied, rapidly. In between swallows, he speaks in a gentle voice, so quiet that you can barely hear his words.
Hello, traveler. My name is Ilquix. Can I be of some assistance to you?
Greetings. I would like to ask you some questions.
What did you want to know, my friend?
Who exactly are you? We'll go through all of these, right?
I am but a humble man with a slight flowery, poetical bent and a tendency toward the supernatural. I regret that I have none of my supplies here, or I should be most eager to teach you the ways of power. Perhaps some other time.
Yes, I'd like that. For now, though, I have some other questions. Okay, what can you tell me about this place?
This place, the Smoldering Corpse Tavern. A fine establishment with a fine owner. Barkis is a true gentleman, and ambitious to increase his standing to boot. These, I feel, are the most useful qualities one can possess.
They drive people. I had some more questions. What can you tell me of the patrons of this place?
The patrons of this tavern are many and varied. I've spoken with most and find them delightful, with the exception of those creatures of law.
He gestures toward the pair of Abishai, sitting in the corner.
They taint the air with their presence, lending an unwholesome stench to an otherwise pleasant environment. I recommend speaking to Barkis. I understand he requires some aid with a trifling matter. Then we have that O character. I'm still trying to understand him fully. It is quite an undertaking, if I say so myself. Those are the folk of interest here. The others, well, perhaps I am too discriminating.
Why do you despise creatures of law?
Ah, a fine question, my friend. My upbringing has been on the chaotic side of the Great Ring. You may speak to Candrian Illborn, a misnomer if I ever heard one, of the plains. He fancies himself a great plain walker. To return from my digression, I have lived my many years with chaos, and find it pleasantly agreeable. To me, the taint of law, as in those creatures there, is reprehensible and tyrannical. If I am to be crushed underfoot, I'd rather it be by an individual than a machine that knows nothing of emotion.
Truth, I very much agree. Lie, I very much agree. Truth, I disagree. Lie, I disagree. There are many who agree with you. I have some other questions. Huh. To me, the taint of law, as in those creatures there, is reprehensible and tyrannical. If I'm to be crushed underfoot, I'd rather it be by an individual than a machine that knows nothing of emotion. Would I rather... If I have to pick what sort of, like, fascist dictatorship to be crushed underfoot by, would I rather it be one that's a machine or one that's emotional? I feel like one that's a machine, actually. Because at least it's predictable, right? At least the cruelty is predictable and theoretically exploitable. That said, if something's emotional, you could provoke it and exploit it in that way, right? I don't know. I feel like I'd rather have the machine. Right? Huh. Truth, I disagree. Ilquick smiles toothily, his fat cheeks barely moving.
To each his own, I say. Do you have more questions?
Yes. Okay. Who is that burning man?
That? Huh. That is the last unfortunate who chose to exercise his individual will without the strings to back up his desires. His name is Ignis, and he was a pyromaniac. He burned and didn't burn the right people, and wound up channeling more raw power than he could control. Now, well, you can see what became of him. If you wish to learn more of him, perhaps that poor creature Drusilla can help you.
Okay, other questions? I'm trying to find a way to make this Mokai pay for her drinks. Any suggestions? Oh, is that who this is a Mokai? I feel like I'm sequence breaking a little bit. I'm trying to find a way to make this Mokai pay for her drinks. Any suggestions? He laughs, his jowls shaking loosely, almost seeming to fall from his face. Whoa.
You could always poison her, friend. A dose of that was always effective in bringing resolution to nearly any conflict.
He laughs again.
Of course I'm joking.
He winks. Of course you are. And some other questions? Nothing. Farewell. Okay.
I'm gone.
These sturdy pylons support the ramshackle roof. I guess we'll make our way over here. We'll speak with Dakon. Oh, there's something to look at here. This metal table is scarred with talons, knives, and teeth. Marks are innumerable and the marks of innumerable tavern brawls. Like the air around it, it is warm to the touch. Dakon? The man before you is old. His dry, yellow skin has the scars of one who has traveled everywhere and never rested long in any one place. His pinched face is inhumanly angular, and his ears sweep out from his skull, tapering to points. He wears a loose-fitting orange tunic, and a strange, shimmering blade is strapped across his back. The blade looks to be a two-pronged glaive, made of some metal whose surface swirls like a film of oil on a pond. Greetings. The man turns to you, his eyes like polished coal. He stares through you, and for a moment you wonder if he might be blind. The weapon suddenly turns a dead, flat black, mirroring the man's eyes. Are you all right?
Hail, traveler.
Okay. He says nothing for a moment, merely searches your face with his eyes. And that's what he said. He said, "Hail, traveler." His voice is quiet and somber, like a wind whispering through the branches of a great tree. Hail?
Your eyes have the weight of one who has traveled far to be in this place.
Okay, well, you're definitely an important character. All right. I guess you probably knew me. Are you here for me? Thinking I would come here. The man meets your gaze, his eyes burrowing into yours. His weapon drains of its black color, resuming its shimmering you noticed before you spoke to him. Okay. Yeah, you could say that. I've traveled far to be in this place. Oh, okay. Just a lead in. He's not that important. The man's gaze does not waver from yours. I am known as Dakon. The emphasis he places on the word known strikes you as odd, yet familiar at the same time. You are not known to me. I do not know myself. I'm a visitor to this city. You are not known to me. I do not know myself. That is for the best. In knowing yourself, there would be little in the plains left worth knowing. He falls silent for a moment, still studying you with his coal black eyes. I would know why you have come to this city. I'm looking for answers. I have many questions.
Speak your questions. I will hear you.
Your features are unfamiliar to me. What are you? Can you tell me about this city? You seem to place a special emphasis on knowing. What do you mean? What is that blade you have? Do you know of a man named Ferret? I'm told he knows something about me. I've lost a journal. Do you know where that might be? There's nothing to be said. Farewell. Start from the top. Your features are unfamiliar to me. What are you?
A Githzerai.
A Githzerai.
A Githzerai is one of the people.
One of the people.
A Githzerai.
Yes, but what are the Githzerai exactly? Thanks for the explanation. It clears up a lot. I had some other questions. Yes, but what are the Githzerai exactly? Dakon is silent for a moment, then speaks.
Our history does not need to be made known to you. We would bleed to death on Time's blade before I recited a fraction of the histories of our people.
I don't need to know your histories, but I would know of your people as they are now. Dakon is silent for a moment.
Know this and accept it as an answer. We are the people who make our home upon the shifting plane of limbo.
With a deft motion, Dakon slips the blade from his back and holds it before him. Wait and see what happens.
There we mold the matter of limbo with our minds. We forge cities with our thoughts.
As you watch a series of rippling waves of metal begin to roll forth from the center of the blade, the pitch and crest of the waves match the inflections in Dakon's voice.
In its chaos, we dwell, with only our knowing to preserve us. We are the Githzerai.
What is that blade you have? It moved, shifted in response to your voice.
It is a
Oh my god, Good lord, I almost thought it said Karlach blade. I was like, whoa, what?
It is a Karak blade. It is an object that lets others know the rank of the wielder.
A Karak? What does that mean? It's made out of a strange metal. It's almost hypnotic the way it shifts back and forth. What rank does it signify? I had some other questions. I see, I must take my leave. Farewell. Karak. What does that mean? Dakon falls silent for a moment, as if searching for the correct words.
In your tongue, the closest translation is chaos matter. The people may shape it with their thoughts.
Shape it with their thoughts?
Karak is not shaped by heat, but by knowing oneself. It is a mirror that reflects the will of the wielder on its surface and in its edge. When one knows themselves, the blade is strong, harder and stronger than steel. When one does not know themselves, the blade is as water, formless and weak.
Are you willing to sell it? I can buy it? Can you sell it?
It would become as nothing in the hands of another. The blade knows my mind, and I know its heart. We die the same death.
I had some other questions.
Speak your questions and I will hear you.
Okay, can you tell me about this city?
It is known by the name Sigil. Among the people, it is known as the city that does not know itself.
It doesn't know itself. What do you mean?
The city exists, but it does not know itself. In not knowing itself, its existence is flawed.
How is it flawed? You speak as if the city is alive. How is it flawed?
The city exists in opposition to itself. It has set itself apart from the planes. yet it seeks to be everywhere at once. Its walls are doors, yet it keeps these doors locked. Such an existence tells of a thing that does not know itself. In not knowing itself, it is flawed.
When you say the city is everywhere at once, what do you mean? Its walls are doors? Truth. What if the city is not flawed? A thing does not need to be ordered and have a purpose to know itself. What if these contradictions are strengths that you cannot see? What if the city is not flawed and you just do not know the reasons for its contradictions? There is order in everything. Perhaps there is an underlying pattern that you cannot perceive. You speak as if the city is alive. Can I ask these other two here? When you say the city is everywhere at once, what do you mean? Probably the portals, right?
The city itself is built from doors. These doors lead everywhere.
Where are these doors?
They are everywhere.
Dakon falls silent for a moment.
It is said that every bounded space within this city is a door that leads elsewhere.
I don't understand.
Imagine the door to the Smoldering Corpse bar. Remove the door, the frame remains. The space within the frame is still a door.
But I walked through that door to get in here. It's just an open space. I don't know why we're being so complicated with this guy.
Many of the doors you never see. You may pass through them as if air, and not know them for what they are. They are closed to your sight and touch.
And these invisible doors are everywhere in Sigil.
It is said every bounded space in Sigil is a door. It is not known for certain. Doors move, doors change, doors disappear. All are locked.
Locked?
The doors remain as air until you have the key that opens them. When you have the key, the doors will make themselves known to you.
How do you know what the key is?
Every door has a different key. Some are known, others are not known.
What are these keys?
There are as many keys as there are doors. The keys are not always things of metal. The keys can be the clashing of two swords, a drop of blood drawn from the tongue of a dying man, the memory of a past love, or an angry curse hurled at the sky.
How poetic.
When the key and door match, the door reveals itself.
Sounds like finding all these keys and doors can be difficult.
Such a task has been attempted but never finished. As a city changes, the doors change. Nothing known remains known for long.
Why did you say the city is flawed again? Okay. You speak as if the city is alive.
It may not be aware and know itself in the sense that you or I might know ourselves, but it lives. It grows, changes, and touches the minds of all that live here.
Why did you say it does not know itself? I want to pick one of these truths. Truth. What if the city is not flawed? A thing does not need to be ordered and have a purpose to know itself. What if these contradictions are strengths that you cannot see? What if the city is not flawed, and you just do not know the reasons for its contradictions? There is order in everything. Perhaps there is an underlying pattern that you cannot perceive. I like the first one. I like number 3 here. A thing does not need to be ordered and have a purpose to know itself. What if these contradictions are strengths that you cannot see?
To your question, a question. What if the city is flawed, and you see its contradictions all around you?
Truth. To your question, a question. You claim this city's existence is flawed. You have accepted this rather than explore the possibility that something greater may exist. That suggests you are flawed, and that you do not search for knowledge, but only for a convenient answer. Ooh, I like that a lot. When you said that the city was everywhere at once, what did you mean? I had some other questions. There's nothing to be said. Farewell. I mean, how in favor am I of Sigil? Like, it is kind of a flawed place, right? But not by virtue of not knowing. I don't know. I feel like we're approaching this from the angle of taking some amount of, like, ownership over the place, right? Like, kind of trying to come to defense of, like, your home in a way, you know? To your question, a question. You claim this city's existence is flawed. You have accepted this rather than explore the possibility that something greater may exist. That suggests that you are flawed, and that you do not search for knowledge, but only for a convenient answer. Dakon falls silent. There is no knowing the answer to the questions we have asked, yet the city exists. That is all. Yet I would maintain that we know ourselves by the questions we ask, and the ones we do not. If we cease asking questions and accept only what we can perceive, ellipses. I mean, of course, I should continue this line of thinking. Oh, I got XP for it. Then we will cease to know ourselves. Dakon's voice has changed slightly, become heavier. Such words have been spoken before. I have heard them and know them. Where have you heard them? The words are mine. Once I knew them and knew their meaning. I had forgotten them until you spoke. Dakon's gaze travels through you, and his blade stops shimmering, bleeding of all color until it is translucent. There's a moment of silence. Then Dakon looks up at you. Oh shit. I would travel your path with you. I'll consider it. I had some other questions first. I accept. An extra blade would be welcome. You are old. Of what use can you be to me? Not this day. Farewell. Okay, I accept.
Your path is mine.
Strangely enough, his voice seems distant, and it echoes, as if he was speaking from across a great distance. Very well, let's go. I got a bunch of XP. Okay. Let's look at this.
Endure. In enduring, grow strong.
Where have I heard that before? Okay. Dakon. Fighter mage. Oh. He's a bit low int for a mage. I think I'm... Oh no, I'm still low. Okay. I was about to say, I think I'm near comparable to that. Okay, alignment, lawful neutral. Chaotic good. I'm neutral good. I think I changed, right? Neutral good characters believe in the balance between law and chaos, but they lean towards performing good actions. Okay. Biography. My past is not known to you. It is not my will that you should know it. Know that I bear the scars of one who has traveled the plains. Know that I have never rested long in any one place. Know that I bear the weight of one who has traveled far to be in this place. Know that I am a Gith Zerai. Know that I am of the people of Zerthamon. It was Zerthamon who knew the Gith Zerai before we knew ourselves. He knew what had to be done to free us. From his knowing came action. From his knowing, freedom was born. The Gith Zerai ceased to be slaves and became a people. Know that I followed the unbroken circle of Zerthamon. His words are known to me. His heart is known to me. All that remains is that I know myself. Okay. Your inventory? Dakon Zerth armor. 5 AC, only usable by you. Dakon's ceremonial Zerth armor. It is fashioned of interlocking metal rings formed of the same substance that Dakon's blade is made of. Oh, really? Unlike the blade, however, it does not appear that the armor changes based on the mental state of the wielder. Okay. The armor is worn over a padded red tunic, and spiked bracers and shoulder pads have been added to give greater protection to the arms and upper body. While Dakon's armor is similar to chainmail, it is lighter and more flexible, allowing him to wield his sword more effectively. Furthermore, it seems that when the sword and armor are used in tandem, the armor becomes even more fluid. Whether this is a unique property of Karak, or whether this is some magical effect of the two items, is unknown. Oh dear. Okay. Dakon's Zerth Blade. How do I check his, wizardly powers? Oh, here we go. Okay, we'll look at that in a bit. Dakon's Zerth Blade, Chained Blade. 2 to 9 slashing, +1 to AC, +1 to Thaco, 7 speed, 5 weight, edged proficiency, usable only by Dakon. On the Githzerai's home plane of Limbo, solid matter is something of a rarity. Limbo itself is a soupy mass of elements, and only through force of will can the Githzerai shape these elements into stable matter. A substance called Karak is a material that can be shaped with the mind. Dakon's blade is composed of this substance. Through mental discipline alone, Dakon maintains the integrity of the blade. He can shape it slightly depending on his skill, adjusting its length, sharpness of the edge. Presumably, as he gains levels, he may be able to manipulate the blade in new ways. It is not known whether all Githzerai Zerth carry such weapons. Certainly a weapon that depends on the integrity of the wielder would be entrusted only to those who had learned to discipline themselves. This blade appears to have special religious significance for Dakon. Dakon has wound a series of parchments around the hilt of the blade. These appear to be the mantras dedicated to Zerthaman. The Unbroken Circle of Zerthaman.
I cannot part with that.
Oh, can't even move it. And a Whispering Flask. What all equipment parts do you have? Oh, you can also wear tattoos. Really? Rings, hands. Okay. Sure, well, let's pass these over. Oh, you can't wear an earring, though. I can, though. Oh, eyeball, yeah,
I don't want to part with that.
Eyes cannot be removed, only switched. Yeah, they have my eye. Huh. They have my eye. Okay, bracelet, put that on.
I cannot part
rings.
with that.
There we go. How about this Unbroken Circle of Zerthamon? The Unbroken Circle of Zerthamon. Weight 2, usable only by Dakon. The small round stone is the Unbroken Circle of Zerthamon. The Unbroken Circle is a Zerth religious text containing teachings of Zerthamon, the founder of the Githzerai people. The circle is made up of a series of interlocking circles that fold out from one another, depending on which branch the reader wishes to follow in the path of teachings. It is said that some Zerths spend years poring over the combinations of the plates, looking for a new significance in the teachings. Dakon seems to use the text as a means of focusing his spellcasting abilities, for he pores over the tablet occasionally, memorizing the words. I can use it? Oh. This small round stone appears to be a religious text. Okay. Oh, a religious text that Dakon carries. It is made up of a series of interlocking circles that fold out from one another. The complexity of the plates and the intricacy of their links prove the text was constructed by a master artisan. You can't figure out how to unlock the plates, however. Leave them alone. Okay, Whispering Flask. Invokes aid, +2 to strength, usable only by Githzerai. Oh, did I hear this before? I think I read of this before. Yeah. Okay. How are Githzerai tied to Githyanki? Right? Obviously, I have a whole lot more experience now with Githyanki, having recently played BG3 just before playing this. I do remember Githzerai being brought up at some point in that game. They're very periphery, but I remember hearing of them before. I don't remember exactly under what context, though.
Done.
Okay. Let's see. Should I talk to Mercy Killer Patron? Oh, wait. I wanted to check your spells. Memorized mage spells. Known mage spells. Reign of Anger. Submerge the Will. Scripture of Steel. And Vilquar's Eye. Level 2. Oh. Oh, the sound effect when swapping the pages. That's classic. Alright, Power of 1. True, goes up to 9? Really? Okay. Reign of Anger. 40-foot range. Instant duration, 1 speed, 1 AoE creature. Zerthman's teachings allows the channeling of anger into streams of unerring missiles that quickly strike those that oppose you. This spell summons a magical missile that strikes its target unerringly for 3 to 6 points of damage, with no saving throw possible. In addition, the caster gains 1 extra missile every 2 levels, for a total of 5 missiles at level 9. Submerge the Will. Okay, range 10 feet, duration 12 seconds, 1 speed, AoE of 1 creature. When the will is submerged, new strength is gained. The strength to endure and protect against adversity. With knowing the teachings of the third circle of Zerthaman comes greater protection against all forms of attacks. When cast, a magical orb of protective energy arises and protects the recipient from attacks from all directions. It bestows an AC 2 against all attacks and a +1 to all save throws for 12 seconds per level of the caster. Scripture of Steel. Whoa, 30-second duration for 180 feet. 1 speed. AoE is 70-foot radius. 0 save throw. One of the earliest teachings of Zerthaman. This incantation reflects what knowing that flesh yields to steel achieves, bestowing a greater advantage to strike and the strength to resist damage. Scripture of Steel grants +1 to hit and +1 to save throws to all creatures that are friendly to the caster in a 70 feet radius from the casting point. Wow, that's really good. I'm going to... Okay, hang on. How do I... Okay, in case I fuck this up, I'm saving. Can I remove that? Oh, I see. Okay, it's hollowed out there. Good. Oh, and we'll have to rest to get it, won't we? Okay, Vilquar's Eye. Range 45 feet +15. Duration 30 seconds, 1 speed, 1 creature. Saving throw. Negative? Okay. Vilquar's Eye is branded upon the caster who's foolish enough to cross the caster. Is branded upon the one who is foolish enough to cross the caster. Vilquar's short-sightedness becomes the target's vision, and soon the world is muddled and dark. If the targeted creature fails its save throw at a -1 penalty, the creature will be struck with blindness and suffer a -4 penalty to its attack rolls, and a +4 penalty to the target's AC. Oh, wow. Okay. That's really powerful. Power of 1. Range touch. Duration 30 minutes per level. 2 speed. AoE is person touch. Save throw none. And from Gith, the warrior queen, came the knowing of oneself. And from the knowing came immense power. This spell increases the target's strength score by a certain number of points, or tenths of points above 18, which will still be qualified by race class restrictions. The spell cannot bestow a strength of 21 or greater. The bonus is as follows. Okay. Priest gets 1d8 +1. Also Rogue. Warrior gets 1d8 +1. Or I'm sorry. Priest and Rogue get 1d6 +1. Wizard 1d4. Okay, so it's more efficacious against who you would expect. Okay. Sure. How do I cast? Oh, I see. Okay. Sure.
What's up?
Raise dead. I can do this. The most precious gift is bestowed upon all who were lost to the living. The Nameless One is able to cast it 3 times per day and is replenished when he rests. This spell restores life back to any slain individual chosen. No save throws required. Oh. Does that include non-party members? What the fuck kind of guy am I? I'm like some kind of necromancer, but not really. Mercy Killer Patron. Hello. You see a lad who barely looks a day over 18. His face seems to betray some tension.
Help you, Cutter?
Help you, Cutter? Who are you? I'm looking for a journal. Have you happened to see one recently? I'm looking for a collector who goes by the name of Farad. Would you happen to know where I can find him? Who are your friends here? What can you tell me about this place? What are you doing? No, farewell. Who are you? I'm Caleb. I'm a mercy killer. I'm here with Tarner and Ilsidon to catch my first criminal. What can you tell me about the mercy killers? Well, I have to get used to saying that now. Believe that justice is the most important thing in existence. I believe that without justice there is no meaning, and without meaning, we might as well just go off and kill ourselves. I don't want to kill myself, so I decided justice is the meaning. If you want to know more, you ought to ask one of these other two, or find one of our recruiters. They'll talk your ear off. I might go do that. Answer some questions for me first. Okay. Who are your friends here? They're the people who are here to make sure I don't foul up this assignment. Tarner's the older one. Ilsidon's the one who's here to make sure I do the job right and to give me support if I need it. He swallows noisily. I hope I won't. It's so funny that he looks how he looks, but this is how he speaks. You'll be fine, I'm sure. Answer a couple of questions for me, will you? What do you want to know? What can you tell me about this place? This place? It's the Smoldering Corpse. I think they named it after the guy near the entry. It's a place where criminals and lowlifes hang out. Still, there's some cutters here who know what they're talking about. Some of them are those fiends, though, and I don't like to deal with them. I feel like they're staring right at my soul. I understand. Can you answer me some other questions? Okay. What are you doing? Well, seeing as I'm a new mercy killer, I'm supposed to bring a criminal to justice to show I can handle the field work. I decided I wanted to catch a killer, so we asked around and got told he was going to be here. Still haven't seen him, though. I'm a little nervous, to tell the truth. If you'll excuse me, I really ought to get looking at the faces here again. He cranes his neck and looks around the bar. Maybe I'm the killer. Maybe I'm the killer who showed up, and for some reason I'm unrecognizable. Because I'm not blue anymore. Because I'm not blue anymore. Okay. Just a few more questions and I'll let you go. I'm looking for a collector who goes by the name of Farad. Would you happen to know where I can find him? Can't say I've heard of him. Is he a criminal? Maybe we'll pick him up later. My thanks for the tip-off, citizen. I just need to find him, not get him killed. Can you answer some other questions for me? Okay, how about my journal? Journal? No, sorry. I'm still new here, so I'm not all that connected yet. If I see one, I'll let you know. He looks around the bar. Okay, thanks. Farewell.
Done.
Mercy Killer Patron. Hello? An armored behemoth. This man is huge. He also seems to have a very keen eye. He misses nothing that transpires around him. It also seems that he has no interest in speaking to you. I'd like to ask you some questions. Hello? Hello? The man stares at you as if you were some form of bug. He stares at you, blinking slowly. He turns his head, then dismissing you without speaking a word. Talk to me, I'll have your heart, you lumbering tin heap. Hello? You hear a subterranean rumble beginning deep in the man's chest. He lightly strokes his weapon and stares at you with renewed interest. If that's the way you want to be, farewell. Attack him. If that's the way you want to be, farewell. Okay, how about this other one? Ilsadon? Or maybe that was Ilsadon. You see a grizzled burly man in spiked armor. He eyes you coolly and slowly, up and down, evaluating you. He pauses for a time on your face, almost as if it jogs his memory somehow. He sighs then and says,
Can I help you with something, friend?
Who are you? Do you recognize me? Who are your friends here? I'm looking for a journal. Have you seen one? I'm looking for a collector who goes by the name of Farad. Would you happen to know where I can find him? Tell me about this place if you would. No, not right now. Farewell. Who are you?
Me? I'm Tarner.
What's with the outfit? Who are your friends? What's with the outfit?
It's a uniform of some kind. We're the Red Deaths, Mercy Killers. We're the justice folks. Someone commits a crime, we bring them to justice. We right wrongs, too. You want to know more? Go talk to one of the recruiters.
Okay, fair enough. Some questions?
What'd you want to know?
Did you recognize me?
I thought I did, but those pictures are centuries out of date, and the suspect would be dead by now. Of course, these are the plains, and stranger things have happened. Still, if you're the feller I'm thinking of, it looks like you served your sentence by means of pain.
Huh. So if it is me, I've potentially been at this for centuries? If not longer? What can you tell me about this person you're talking about? Who knows? Answer some other questions for me, will you? More than you could know. More than I know. Farewell. Okay, what can you tell me about this person you're talking about?
'Twas a particularly brutal criminal, from what I understand. This was, of course, centuries ago. Immense strength, they said, and enough anger to tear the head from a barrior.
Oh, Barrior. Right, the centaur. Barrior. Not centaur, the goat centaur.
Not a sod to be messing with. Word is he got himself surrounded by a Red Death patrol. Escaped through a portal and hasn't been seen since.
He frowned, studying you.
They have pictures of him. Take away some of the scars and you might be related to him. Probably not him, though.
Okay, sounds like a nasty fellow. I had some questions about something else. Okay. Who are your friends?
They're Caleb and Ilsadon. Caleb's a new meat, a new recruit. Ilsadon's the muscle, I'm the brains.
What are you doing here? A recruit? Is that why you're all dressed the same? A recruit?
It's a uniform of a kind. We're the Red Death, Mercy Killers.
Okay. Other questions? Who are your friends? What are you doing here?
Waiting for a criminal. This'll be eager Caleb's first arrest if the Burke we're waiting for ever shows up.
What are you, some kind of police force? Is that what your armor is, a uniform? Okay, we're looping around with conversation. I'm looking for a journal. Have you seen one?
I see far too much on the mean streets of Sigil, friend. Unless this journal was something spectacular, chances are good I ain't seen it.
Okay, do you have answers to other questions? I'm looking for Farad.
You're looking for him, eh? From the tone of your voice, I'm betting it won't be for a quick drink down at the local tavern either. See, I know Farad of old. He's a slippery one, he is, and it'll be a time before we can pin something on him. Problem is, only a fanatic like Valor would scrag the guy without even a shred of proof. That's all a long way of saying, I don't know where the sod is, but you ought to know he's a suspect,
and it won't do you any good to be seen with him.
Okay, thanks for the advice. Suspect in what, though? Tell me of this place, if you would.
It's a Smoldering Corpse. Chant is, this place is full of portals and such. But then, that's true most anywhere in Sigil. Good cheap drinks, and if you don't mind the company of bubbers and fiends, it ain't a bad place to be. You want to know more about this place, talk to the bartender or something.
Okay, farewell.
All right.
Let's speak with O. You see a man standing stock still. He isn't moving a muscle. On closer examination, it appears that he isn't even breathing, just standing. His eye sockets are empty holes in his face. Contained within their bounds is a flat gray light that seems to dance with possibility. Looking into the sockets, the eerie, empty feeling of a limitless void shivers through you, as if you had gazed into a sliver of eternity. Oh, be careful it doesn't gaze back into you, huh? Hey, Baldur's Gate 1, don't gaze into abyss. Sorry. The head slowly swivels toward you. You notice that no muscles appear to move under his skin as he turns. When he speaks in a pure, bell-like tone. A bell-like tone? What? What does that mean? Well met, wanderer. You have forgotten again, haven't you? Do you know me, stranger? I don't have time for cryptic ramblings. I'm looking for a journal. It's urgent. Do you know where I might find it? Are you Farad? I'm looking for Farad, the collector. Who are you? Forget it, I have other tasks. Farewell. You know me, stranger? As he opens his mouth, you get that feeling of eternity again. Inside his mouth, you see no tongue, no teeth. It's almost as if this man were a shell surrounding an illimitable expanse. I have spoken with you before, and always you forget. Your endless quest to discover yourself ends always in your amnesia. You draw close to the truth and recoil. Let us hope that you have the strength to endure your existence. Huh. What do you know of me? How do you know this? I know that you, like a fly, rise up from the wreckage of your old shell, buzz about for a time, and curl up and die at the window of truth. You bumble about the pain, seeking the light without any plan to your actions, and fall exhausted when you fail. You alight on others to feed from them for a time, and move on with no regard to them. I have watched you come here and listen to your words, and watched you move away, no wiser. Will you learn from your mistakes, Seeker? I don't think I like your tone. Who are you? Not this time, farewell. Attack him. I don't think I like your tone. Though his face does not smile, the humor is evident in his voice. Is your answer to all your problems to fight blindly? Are you no more than a biting insect? Or will you achieve a thought at some point in your pitiful existence? Who are you to speak to me this way? I am O, not to be confused with Q. For some reason, when he speaks his name, it sounds like he's speaking of much more than a single letter, as if the speaking of his name contained untold possibilities and nuances. No human tongue could ever create such a sound. What sort of name is that? What are you? Pleased to meet you, O. Farewell. What sort of name is that? It is my name. It is the name of a portion of eternity. I am a letter in the divine alphabet. Understanding me leads to understanding existence. I am writ in the true names of half of everything. My being encompasses truth. I am mathematic, organic, metaphysic. I think you're entirely crazed. So what does that mean? Right, answer some other question for me, will you? I see, very well. So what does that mean? The divine alphabet is writ in the name of everything that exists. From the seed at the hearts of the elemental planes to the core of the great beyond. My brothers, sisters, a single word translates into the two in your mind, and I reach across all that is, was, or ever shall be. We are thought and reality and concept and the unimaginable. Tell me about the great beyond. So what are you doing here? Then that means you know all the secrets of existence, doesn't it? Then you should be able to answer some questions for me. That means you know all the secrets of existence, doesn't it? I know parts of many of them. Without a connection to my brothers' sisters, I am but a letter. Alone I am a symbol. Combined we are language and power. So you don't know the secrets of existence? Then you know nothing. Perhaps you know the answers to some of my questions. A sound metaphor on many levels. Farewell. So you don't know the secrets of existence? I did not say that. A letter is still a powerful force, even on its own. Allow me to show you. He opens his mouth wider and wider still. The mask of his face tears around his eyes, mouth and nose, revealing that hint of eternity you glimpsed earlier. You are lost in it, adrift in it, a part of it. You return to your mundane senses and realize that O is vanished. It's somehow your horizons have expanded. Enlightenment has brushed you, however briefly, across the brow. That was indescribable. Wisdom increased permanently. What the fuck? Are we gonna meet more people with letter names who are tied to this? Huh.
All right.
Okay. Well, I'm so fucking wise now. Hello there, Aethelgrin. You see a scaled fiend who looks very similar to the one standing next to him. In addition to the pierced left ears, both are black-hued and reptilian, with bat wings tucked against themselves. This one is missing a tooth on its right side.
Ah, Tagarin, it says. Our old friend has returned to pay us a visit. So he has, Aethelgrin, so he has. Yet his eyes do not gleam as once they did. What do you suppose brings him back to us? What does bring you back to us, friend?
Who are you? What are you doing? What is this place? Tell me about fiends. Tell me about fiends. Do you know a collector named Farad? I'm looking for a journal. Who are you?
Ah, Aethelgrin, time has robbed our companion's memory. You honestly do not recall us, do you? Truly, I am aggrieved.
But...
As am I, Tagarin. Truly aggrieved, yet I rest easy. I know it has, after all, been many hundreds of years, and we know how the minds of mortals tend to dissipate with age. Ah, well spoken. Old friend, we are a pair of Abishai, on leave from our current assignments in Baator. I am Tagarin, the thrice damned, so named for my ability to find the best in every situation.
What? Okay.
This is Aethelgrin, who has earned himself no special name, not for lack of trying.
Lack of trying, what do you mean? Aethelgrin ignores you as it responds to its companion.
And once again, Tagarin, you have cut straight to the truth of the matter, though perhaps it is best not to have earned the sort of notice one bearing the name Thrice Damned must surely have incurred.
I had some other questions. Mort whispers to you. Boss, I don't like this. They're not supposed to be here. The Blood War hasn't kicked the Celestials' asses bad enough that any fiend can go on furlough. They want something. Tread carefully. In the meantime, Tagarin continues to respond to its companion. Oh, sorry, not yet. In its turn, Tagarin ignores you as it replies to its comrade.
Once again, I maintain that any notice is better than no notice at all.
The Abishai turns back to you.
Old friend, does this answer your question as to our identities?
I suppose it will have to. I had some other questions.
Questions? Perhaps we have answers. We are certainly eager to aid you, old friend.
Who are you? What are you doing? What is this place? Tell me about fiends. Okay, what are you doing?
What are we doing? Well, why, is it not perfectly clear, old friend? We are on leave from our most beloved assignment, taking for ourselves some much-needed rest, and perhaps inducing some additional recruitment for our glorious cause. Our superiors fully support our presence, to be sure. In a more immediate sense, we are taking our entertainment in this delightful establishment, and of course we are celebrating the return of our old friend. However, the stench of the breezes, which occasionally waft the scent of goodness in the door, debases us somewhat, leaving us physically, mentally, and spiritually weaker. Fortunately, the air in this ward of the city carries a delicious tang of pain and supplication. Wouldn't you agree?
Again, the fiend smiles broadly at you. I had some other questions. Okay, what is this place?
This is a Smoldering Corpse tavern, one of the more entertaining taverns your kind has seen fit to erect in this city. The poetic justice of the burning fellow at the front of the establishment is really quite a fine touch. Was there something else you wish to ask?
Yeah, I had some other questions. Tell me about fiends.
As I see it, there are two kinds of fiends. Those who are correct, and those who are not. Our side, that of the Batizu, is correct. The other side, that of the cursed, hated, chaotic Tanari, is incorrect, and must be exterminated. We hold the Tanari directly responsible for the Blood War. Were it not for them, we could have settled the lower planes in peace, and wouldn't have all the bother of fighting this wretched war, nor would the unfortunate spillovers into the other planes be such a cause for concern among the namby-pamby do-gooders. The Tanari are directly to blame for the multiverse's sad state of affairs.
That's not really what I was asking. I wanted to know what differentiates you from them. The fiend pauses for a moment, and then brightens.
Yes. You see, we represent law and order. Those who break the law must be punished. If we have no law, we have only anarchy. And surely you can see what anarchy has done for the Abyss. It has spawned horrors beyond imagining. Any excesses the Betitsu state may have indulged in are simply to counter the rising tide of chaos represented by the Tanari. We mean no harm to anyone. We just prefer to understand where the boundaries are.
Huh. Okay. I see I had some other questions. Do you know a collector named Farad?
Farad? Yeah, I have heard the name. Is he not a sage of some sort? A necromancer? Or is he a diviner of rubbish? I have heard of him, friend, but do not have the pleasure of his company. Perhaps one of the other patrons here can help you.
Perhaps. I had some other questions. I'm looking for a journal. Okay.
I keep no journals, friend, and I counsel that you should not either. Ask my dear comrade Tagarin, why, and you shall receive enlightenment.
Very well. Tagarin, why should I not keep a journal?
Because, friend, it is easy to make the mistake of committing a true word to posterity, and easier still for someone you once trusted.
And here he shoots a glance full of venom at Aethelgrin.
To find that word and use it against you. Indeed, it can even lead to actions tantamount to desertion. Leaving or losing a journal can cost you your very existence.
I see, I had some other questions. Boss,
I'm more sure than ever that these Burks ain't on the up and up. Sounds to me like they deserted. Like they're looking for some angle that'll elevate their status in Baitor. You don't want to be talking to them, boss. You don't know what game they're playing, and you could get burned. Literally.
Alright, Mort, I'm done with them.
All right.
I mean, we already exhausted everything with them, I think. Okay. How about Smoldering Corpse Patron? This is a slightly balding man with a cynical cast to his face. He speaks clearly in a staccato voice, rapping out each word distinctly and clearly. What do you want, Cutter? I don't know what staccato means. I don't know. It's like a musical thing? I don't know music. Who are you? I'm looking for a journal. I'm looking for a fellow named Farad. He's a collector. Have you seen or heard of him? What can you tell me about this place? Who is that burning by the entryway? What was that you and your friend were saying about Sigil? Oh, what are they saying about Sigil? This place feels important. We're insignificant in the grand scheme. We're rats.
What has that got to do with Sigil?
Okay. What was that you and your friend were saying about Sigil? Ah, my cousin. He stresses the word, as if to emphasize that he has no choice in his acquaintance. Has recently come here from her backwater prime world. My uncle, a renowned wizard, brought her here to expand her horizons. She labors under the delusion that this is the center of the multiverse, and she thinks it's somehow important. Since I've lived here my whole life, I know otherwise. It's a place the powers and Planeborn overlook, just as humans overlook the squirrels in their city parks. It's not important, and the sooner humans come to realize they're not important, the better off they'll be. Really? I'll have to hear her justification for this. In the meantime, can you answer some other questions for me? What would you like to know? Who are you? I'm Cillian Irontoes. Before you ask, I got the name because my idiot brother dropped a 50-pound stone on my feet, crushed my toes. Now I have iron toes, right? All right, I suppose. Answer some other questions, will you? What would you like to know? I'm looking for a journal. I haven't seen one. At least, not one that's stuck out in my mind. If it wasn't valuable, try the trash mounds on the opposite side, out on the opposite side of the hive. I sympathize with your plight. Journals are the very essence of identity. They keep us aware of our past and help us plot our future paths. I always keep a journal myself, and I find I'm a better person because of it. He says this last with self-satisfied relish. You're not kidding. Answer some other questions. I'm looking for a collector by the name of Farad. Have you seen or heard of him? A collector? Isn't that one of those nasty dead holers? I don't associate with that type. This isn't my ward, really, so no, I've never heard of him. What is your ward? I live in the ladies' ward with my uncle. It's generally a better class of person there, if I may say so myself. None of the riff-raff that you see floating around here so much. No. I'd say that coming to this area is definitely slumming. I can't say that I enjoy it, but then, I'm told that one should experience a wide variety of life's offerings. I'm just about done with this one. Ladies' word, huh? Very well. Answer some questions? What can you tell me about this place? This is a Smoldering Corpse. I brought my greenhorn, clueless prime cousin here to see some of the sights, smells, and sounds of Sigil's beauties. So far, she remains unimpressed. I can see why. Can you tell me something else? Who is that burning by the entryway? Chant has it that the unfortunate fellow goes by the name of Ignis. Burned down a portion of the hive before folks here got together and took care of him. They made him a conduit to the elemental plane of fire, and now he has to ride there for folks' amusement. Not too amusing, but interesting, certainly. It certainly is. Can you tell me something else? Okay. No, actually, never mind. Good day. I'll talk to your cousin now, I think. This is a woman with a far-off cast to her face. She's not exactly young, nor is she exactly old. Perhaps it's the expression of slight disbelief that's etched across her features. The expression says that she doesn't believe her senses. When she focuses on you, she speaks sharply, but not angrily. Do you need something? Who are you? I'm looking for a journal. I'm looking for a collector by the name of Farad. Have you seen or heard of him? What can you tell me about this place? Who was that burning in the entryway? What was that you and your friend were saying about Sigil? He's not my friend. He's my cousin. He was just telling me that this isn't the center of the multiverse. Despite it being located smack in the middle of the Outlands, despite it being the focal point of the portals from all over the cosmos, there isn't a known place with more. Despite all the quarreling the gods do over it, despite the sheer variety and concentration of power that accumulates here, there's no place like this in the cosmos, and he's telling me it's nothing special. Huh! That's an interesting perspective. Perhaps you both have elements of truth. Perhaps you're correct, but I find that such relativism is often beyond me. Either the place is important or it is not. Paradox may fuel the planes, but must be sense to it somehow. Not necessarily, but I haven't time to argue about this right now. Instead, I'd like to ask more questions. Okay. Who are you? I'm Kairos Thorntongue. I'm here with my cousin, because my uncle doesn't want me wandering the hive on my own. He doesn't seem to think I'm competent on my own. He may be right. I don't know this city or this plane very well. I'm not from here. I'm from the Prime. The Prime? What's that? You're from the Prime? You're from the Prime? Visiting, expanding my horizons. The Prime is a fine place to live, but it's a little too real, I suppose. My uncle gives each of his nieces and nephews a few years in the plains and allows us to remain here if we so desire. I think I might so desire. I'm fascinated and repelled. But then, I suppose that's the nature of the plains, isn't it? As I understand it, yes. Do you have enough knowledge to give me some answers? Okay, I'm looking for a journal. Sorry, I'm new in town, and I can assure you that I haven't seen anything that I'd recognize as a journal. Though I am told that something that appears to be a person could, in actuality, be the journal for some other creature. I'm still trying to get my head around the philosophy here. It's a little overwhelming, but they say if you stick with it, it becomes much easier. So Mort could be my journal, is that what you're saying? That's a relief. I'd like to get some answers from you. Okay. I'm looking for a collector by the name of Farad. Have you seen or heard of him? A collector? I don't believe I've heard the term. She pauses, thinking. Is that one of those haulers of the dead? The poor folk who collect the hive's innumerable victims for money? Yes. From what I understand, they mostly congregate in the areas of the hive that are farther from the mortuary, where there is more life and more violence. Your best bet might be to concentrate your search away from the House of the Dead. I might just do that, but first I'd like to ask another question of you. Okay, what can you tell me about this place? This is, I understand, the Smoldering Corpse Tavern, named after that fellow near the entrance. From what I can see, it's a dive where scum mixes with cream to create an entirely unappetizing new flavor. Of course, being from the Prime, my perceptions might be jaundiced. You're from the Prime? What does that mean? You're from the Prime? What are you doing here? That's possible. Things are not always as they seem here. Can you answer some questions for me? You're from the Prime, what does that mean? We already asked what are you doing here, so what does that mean? She cocks her head and looks at you oddly. The Prime material plane. The place where the belief the outer planes are shaped of is born. The world, stars, moons, and so forth. Belief and reality. I sure hope you know what the Prime is, because it's an essential part of planar knowledge. I knew that. I had other questions. Okay. Who is that burning by the entryway? That is Ignis. He attempted to burn down a portion of the city some time back. Centuries? And I might be centuries old. Maybe I know Ignis.
and was punished by being turned into a living flame. A nasty fate, but fitting for a known pyromaniac and arsonist. From what I have read, it'd be best to leave him well alone.
How do you know so much about this place? Aren't you a prime?
The uncle Celan and I share is a wizard who makes his home here. He brings his relatives to the plains on occasion to show them the delights and horrors of the multiverse. I wanted to be sure I was ready for the trip, and so I prepared myself extensively. I probably know more about the city than my cousin, who's lived here his entire life.
She gestures disparagingly at the man nearby. It's quite an uncle. Can I ask some more questions? It's quite a gift. Farewell. Farewell. Yeah, I think we got enough out of them.
I'm gone.
Nope, there's Mokai. We still need to speak with Ignis if we even can. I can't save. Oh, is it because Mokai is coming this way? You see a female dustman. As you near her, she calls out to you.
You over here?
Approach her.
Hey, Cutter, buy a lady a drink?
Barkis says it's time for you to settle your tab. Pay up. Very well, here are 5 coins. Who are you? What is this place? Tell me about the other patrons here. Who's a burning corpse? Poison her drink with the embalming fluid. Nothing, farewell. Okay. Let's ask her as much as I can before I bring up that Barkis sent me over. Who are you?
Me? I'm Mokai. I just like to, drink here, and,
She loses her train of thought momentarily.
I'm just a person, you know?
I see. Answer something else for me then.
What, do you want to know?
What is this place?
Smoldering Corpse Tavern. Can't you read? You, more Bob than I am?
Forget it. Tell me something else. Okay. Okay. Tell me about the other patrons.
Don't know. They're just, people. I don't deal much with people. Unless they're buying me a drink.
She looks at you hopefully. I see. Give me some other answers. Who's the burning corpse?
He's, not a corpse. He's, some crazy wizard. Ask around. They'll tell you the story.
Okay. Barkis said it's time for you to settle your tab and pay up. She jumps a little, and her nervous tension becomes full-fledged anxiety.
What are you going to do?
Ask you to pay up, now. Nothing yet. Answer some questions for me. Ask you to go pay up.
I can't afford it. Can you spot me just 10%? I'll, give it to him and he knows I'll pay the rest.
How much do you need? I don't think so. I'm not a charity. Can you think of another way to pay him? How much do you need?
I think I need about 100 coins to get started on that debt.
And immediately the first choice is poison her drink with the embalming fluid. I'll lend you the money. Here, take it and pay up. Now. Lie. I'd lend you the money, but I don't have it. Answer some other questions, will you? I'll be back with some money. Can you think of another solution? Can you think of another solution?
Another way to pay?
She smiles sadly.
You could always, kill me.
Distractor. I could, but what's that over there? Wait, why am I distracting her? To kill her? I could, but I'd rather find another solution. I'll just lend you that money. Now go pay up. I'll be back later. I could, but what's that over there?
Over where?
To poison her. She whips her head around to stare where you're pointing, and pauses for a moment as she focuses her drink-addled eyes.
I don't see anything.
Okay, never mind. Answer some questions for me, will you? Okay, let me bring that up again. Go pay up. How much do you need? Okay. I'll lend you the money. Here, take it and pay it up. Now. She pockets your jink, glances briefly toward the door, almost as if she's weighing her chances of dashing out, sighs heavily as she realizes there's no chance, and begins to walk glumly toward the bar. My thanks, I suppose. Don't mention it, and don't even think about heading for the door until you've paid up. Okay. Anything else over here? Same. Oh, these red-hot pipes remind you of torture devices. Apparently they emit steam. These vents blow incredibly hot air up from the furnaces below. I do want to talk to Ignis, but hang on, let's see if something will happen. As Mokai makes her way over. Whoa, the music actually changed. Okay. Here's, some money. I'll bring in more, later. How did this guy sound? You'd better, or something. We've spoken with a lot of different people. Barkis? Back again? What now? You said you had my eye. I'd like it back. You won't be having trouble with Mokai again. Then, friend, you have full bar privileges. For free. Anything you want, anytime. That must have been a pretty big tab she ran up. You don't know the half of it. You want a drink now? Alright, set me up. You want a drink? You got a drink. This is what we got for you. Beer, bitters, mead, elemental water, arborean fire wine and fire seeds, cursed hard wine, and Bartorian whiskey. What'll it be? Let's try the cool water. Because, you know, all the rest of it is like wild stuff, but then there's just water. He moves back to a keg on the wall and turns the spigot. The clearest water you have ever seen pours from the nozzle into the glass he holds underneath it. He sets it down in front of you, and you take a deep draught. It is the purest thing you have ever tasted. A coldness inherent to the water itself, a feeling of air that passes over your tongue and into your stomach, where its coolness calms even the raging of your passions for a moment. From the heart of the elemental plane of water, Barkis snorts. Any other water you ever drink's going to taste dirty by comparison. That was great. Give me another drink. Okay. How about... I guess we'll start from the top. How about beer? You quaff the weak drink. The flavor isn't exactly bold, but it's filling. And it's alcoholic. It doesn't seem to do anything else for you. What'll it be, Cutter? Another drink? How about bitters? Okay. Exactly the same. Okay. Another drink? How about mead? Exactly the same. Another drink. Fire wine and fire seeds. Here we go. He passes you a glass of deepest red wine and a handful of brightly colored seeds. Stick the seeds in your mouth, he advises, and take a swig of the wine. Don't be surprised when the seeds catch fire. They won't do you any harm. It's a taste like no other. He's right. When you pop a seed into your mouth, it mingles with your saliva and bursts into a tiny flame. You quench it with a swallow of fire wine, and the taste is indescribable. Barkis smiles. You want another? Keep 'em coming. Okay, how about heart wine? He passes you a glass of Kirst's famous heart wine. The bouquet is breathtaking, and the wine itself is full-bodied and fruity. The aftertaste leaves nothing to be desired. Made from real razor vine, that is. Wish I knew this secret. The barkeeper nods at the empty glass. You want another? I certainly do. Okay, how about whiskey? He places a shot of some steaming substance that looks like boiling urine in front of you. The fumes that waft your way, however, are exquisitely tempting. The taste, though nearly unbearably hot, is as smoky as the scent. The feel of the liquor burning its way to your gut is nearly painful. Yet even this pain is sweet. The barkeep's eyes widen. Still standing? Most folks can't even make it halfway through the first shot. I feel fine. I don't even feel anything. The barkeep considers you carefully, resting his chin on his hand. You know, Cutter, there's some as have a natural immunity to poisons and such. Some folks have called Bubba poison. If that's the case, chances are good you got yourself a handy little defense against poisoners. Well, how about that? Give me another drink anyway. Okay, yeah, that ought to come in handy. Another question? How much was the eye again? Okay. You want it back? Price is 500 coins. You don't got it, you don't get it. Okay, I don't have that much. Alright, farewell. We'll come back with some.
I'm gone.
Okay, which we do have a fair number of things we can sell off now. And we can very likely get more. Alright, I think we'll call it here for now. Because I feel like either Ignis, when we talk to Ignis is either going to say a shitload or nothing at all. Right? Because I think we might know Ignis. I bet we do. I bet we're centuries old and we know this dude. In fact, maybe there's someone that was a companion of ours long ago. Anyway, when next we return, we'll speak with Ignis and we'll finally leave the bar and we'll go look around. Remember, we spoke with Candrian, who said that they would go find Ingress back in the area right outside the mortuary, I think it was. We should definitely do that as well. Put it on the to-do list. Anyway, until next time, please take care of each other.